Hey Walking Bibles, welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephanie, for those of you who are new here. So a couple weeks ago I lost a friend of mine. We're in high school together and he died, and it was so abrupt and so sad because none of us expected him to go. But losing him was also a wake-up call. It was a reminder that life is short, and so that life is about living right now. So that's what today's video is about. It's about taking one day at a time. So this video is also inspired by a song called One Day at a Time, Sweet Jesus. My dad sent it to me some time back, and if you'd like to listen to it, it will be linked down below. And we're going to borrow two lines from it. The first line is, yesterday is gone, and this is for all the people who live their life in the past. You can't change the past, so stop wasting time thinking of the what ifs. Most of us who are stuck in the past think that if we had made different choices, it would have led to a better outcome. But the fact is, there is no assurance of that. You could have done something better and still ended up exactly where you are. So accept your mistakes and put your trust in God, because even though our choices and our actions fail us, He will never fail us. He's always working for your good. Some of us hold on to the past because it's comfortable. We're scared of the new door God has opened up for us because it's unknown. So we protect ourselves by keeping in the past, and we let fear hold us back from the great things that God has planned for us in the future. Forgive because Christ first forgave you. Sometimes it's so hard to forgive people, especially when they don't deserve it, when they do not apologize, or when they do not realize that they are actually in the wrong. But God had the same choice with us. He had the choice between pouring out His wrath onto us or sending His Son Jesus Christ to die for us on the cross while we were still His enemies. And God chose to send Jesus, and He's calling us to the same path, guys. Forgiveness is not an easy thing. I'm not going to pretend like it is, and there are moments when we're going to struggle so much with it. But through Christ, we can learn to forgive. We can learn to forgive people when they don't deserve it. Some of us can't move on from the past because we think the past makes us special. We let the past determine our value, and in doing so, we sabotage our potential. God's plan for you is not to be successful only once. He has great plans for you, plans to take you higher than your last hill. But you must learn to let go of that hill and move forward. Some of us are stuck in the past because we have experienced horrible pains, terrible losses, many failures, and we let all these terrible things that have happened to us hold us back from the joy that God has given us right now. But think about this. If Peter had let his denial of Christ hold him back, he would have never been the rock on which the church is founded. If Paul had let his murderous past hold him back, he would have never been God's voice to the Gentiles. If Ruth had let the loss of her husband hold her back, she would have never married Boaz. Life is filled with so many terrible heartaches, and I'm not going to pretend like I understand what you're going through. I don't, but God does, and God has healing power. It doesn't just happen like in a snap and boom, you're perfectly healed. No, but He has healing power, a power to heal your wounded heart, your broken life, and make it better so that you may be able to enjoy the life that He has given you right now. But you need to take action. You need to start praying. You need to start reading His word to be reminded of all the wonderful things He says about you and promises you. You need to get someone to talk to, whether it's a therapist or a friend or your parents. Just get someone to talk to. It's time to seek out help so that you may have a better life. So for all of you who are living your life in the past, I have a Bible verse for you. It is Isaiah chapter 43, verse 18 to 19. Forget about what happened. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert. Be present. I am about to do something brand new. It's bursting out. Don't you see it? There it is. I am making a road through the desert, rivers through the badlands. I don't know what's keeping you in the past, but as Isaiah chapter 43, verse 18 to 19 says, God is doing something new in your life. So it's time to let go. So the second line in the song is actually, tomorrow may never be mine. And this is for all of the people who are stuck living in the future. Some of us are constantly distracted by the possibilities and the pitfalls of tomorrow. We feel compelled to pull tomorrow's cares and concerns into today, and we let these things that we know nothing of burden us. And in doing so, we end up missing out on the moments that God has given us right now. Some of us are always waiting for the future to live. We're always working towards the next goal, which we believe will make us happy. We're the people who are like, when I finish school, I'll start living my life. When I get a degree, I'll start living my life. When I get a job, when I get married, when I get kids, when I retire. This becomes a trend in our lives, and we end up never truly living our lives. So as Christians, why should we stop living in the future and start taking one day at a time? Well, the first reason is because tomorrow may never be yours. The reality is that none of us know when death is coming for us. You may never live to finish school. You may never live to get a degree, to get married, to have kids, or to retire. It's a reality that scares most of us, but it's the truth. The only thing that you are assured of is right now in the moment. So maximizing every single time you have and living every day at a time is always the best route to take. Secondly, you can't control the future. The future will always be unknown, and it's never guaranteed. It's okay to make plans. Actually, it's really good to make plans. You should always have plans for your future. But you still need to know that life doesn't always go as planned. Thirdly, we should not put our faith in our plans, but most importantly in God. Remember that God is all-knowing. He knows what's going to happen in the future. So many Christians love to quote Jeremiah 29 verse 11, but how many of us actually live that Bible verse? In Jeremiah 29 verse 11, God was talking to the Israelites who are going to be in captivity for 70 years. And he was telling them that I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And in the same way, God uses this Bible verse to remind us that he has plans for us. He has plans for us. He has plans for our future. Good plans, not like horrible, terrible plans that are supposed to destroy us, but good plans. And he wants us to trust him with our future so that we may be able to enjoy all the wonderful things and the gifts that he has given us right now. For all of you who struggle with living in the future instead of the now, I have a Bible verse for you, and it's Proverbs chapter 16 verse 9. It says, we can make our plans, but God determines our steps. In the end, as Proverbs chapter 16 verse 9 says, God will eventually determine the steps that we are supposed to take. So we have to learn how to completely trust him with our future. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember that life is not about living a long life, but a purposeful life. So acknowledge God in all your ways and take one day at a time. Thank you so much for tuning in, Walking Bibles, and I'll see you in the next video.